Good evening, my dear country people and our brothers and sisters presently working in overseas. Today is 7th May 2023. So, my name is Chandana Lekamge. I am from Kurunegala. I studied at St. Anthony's College, Kandy. I have done 1992 A level and I successfully passed 4 subjects. After that, I came back to Colombo and for further study. I studied initially JMC College, Colombo, and I passed that final of AAT, Associate Accounting Technician of Sri Lanka, and passed licentiate examination in the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Sri Lanka. So after that, I started my career that accounting field and auditing field. Was an accountant and audit manager capacity I worked at during those period. I have got 30 years experience in accounting and auditing field. After that, 2020, I have started my own company. It's called Lekamge Export Private Limited. Now I am working as a managing director of that company. First of all, I take this opportunity to explain about the current crisis, economic crisis in Sri Lanka, because that 90% people are burdened, massive financial burden at the moment. So I thought that I have a responsibility to interfere this occasion. Now, that Sri Lanka has been seeing those decades, dark period in those decades, that 40 years, that 4 decades since 1971 up to 2010. There were 5 governments had ruled those period. But unfortunately, that governments unable to develop the country. So, reason of that, main reason is lack of economic knowledge of that government and who was the control of president. And other one is that neglected that economic facts to growth of the country, increase the economic growth. Now we have come to that. After that, in 2009, LTT defeated by our three forces successfully. After that, our country people thought now time has come to develop our country. But unfortunately, the Mahinda Rajapaksa regime during those period ruled by the Mahinda Rajapaksa government, they initially started that only the concentrate the priority given by the infrastructure facilities. For example, for instance, that road, bridges, and long-term investment they concentrate. That is the main fault, because that people expected to concentrate to the living condition first of all, because 30 years people were burdened that financially and struggle in war. After that, they expected to living condition, but unfortunately, that Mahinda Rajapaksa government concentrate to give the priority to infrastructure facilities. Thing is now at that time there were so many poor financial decision taken by that government. I directly tell that I want to tell that because massive, that unbearable loans had been taken that during that period. And second one is unuseful expenses have done those period. Now I am going to 2014. That means last year of the Mahinda Rajapaksa government before the Yahapalana government came. That 2014, that financial statement of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka ended December 2014. According to these accounts, I have reviewed that all the financial audited financial statement, and I have examined all the whatever that financial transaction randomly. That what had happened, that I have to give that comment, but auditors also gave some commitment regarding that they have given the true and fair the accounts. That is not enough for, but we have to according to the country. So comment is about unbearable loans had been taken. Now example, this is the balance sheet. So government borrowings, they have taken 6,577 billion. Those period they have taken according to the balance sheet. This is the financial statement, financial position means balance sheet. Now we can get the comment. At that time, I analyzed that what they had taken that loan. That indicated that note of the accounts 480 projects launched during that period. So now actually that 400 projects problem, there was a problem because what had happened after that. Now thing is, after 2015, Yahapalana government came and they didn't review this all the things previously. That is the main lapse of the 2015 government. I directly said that there is a big lapse because there was a progress report. What had happened to these projects? And these expenses still going. Still, what are the under 80%, 70% that construction situation? But they didn't examine. I can prove it that after that few accounts financial statement, because that our GDP has not increased those period. So that is a comment that if the projects are successfully finished, that come into the GDP. But GDP is very small changes during those fluctuations in that 4 and 5 years. That is why the Mahinda Rajapaksa lapses of that government. Now next one, that those period I want to tell something about that loans. They have taken 17 billion US dollars loans had been taken those period. That 2010 up to 2020 up to 2021. That also we can see these accounts. After that 2019, that I think Eastern bomb attacks came in 2019. There's this main financial crisis, economic crisis fallen. That is the initial started from Eastern bomb attack. After that, our main income not generated by successfully. One is tourist income and apparel, and other incomes have decreased from 2019. After that 2019, I think December, that Gotabaya Rajapaksa came to president, and that what had happened those period, those regime, that is the, I can say, terrible period because of that that governments under chartered accountants, economic teachers, and so many none other financial controllers were there. But unfortunately, main badly criticism decision they have taken by first of one, VAT reduction. Suddenly half income less from that normal estimated income because VAT 15% deduct from 8%. That is the main lapse of decision taken by the Gotabaya Rajapaksa's government. After that, another one main reason is stop that the fertilizer import. That what had happened now. You know that previously, now 2 months ago, our Peradeniya University Professor Vasanta Atukorla, they have done the research. According to the research, that fertilizer prohibited that imports, that after that our cultivation, paddy and tea, totally 200 220,000 million lost to the Sri Lankan economy. That is actual happening, that decision. Now you think about it, like this government in the future time, if they take like this decision, what will happen? Now think about, my dear country people and our overseas presently working in our brothers and sisters. Think about it. Because they don't know lack of that economic and monitoring of financial, that fiscal, that fiscal means how to administrate the revenue, right? That is a fiscal policies and monitoring. That is the main lack of that government. That two decisions are adversely affects 2021, 2022 up to now, right? That's why now you think about that, like that decisions, poor decisions have taken by the government. After that, we are coming to, at that time they already taken about that import restriction. That means our peoples are consuming that essential goods. They already stopped that import restriction. That what had happened after that? Food crisis came. Why food crisis came? Because totally the local, that cultivations are very poor now at the moment. Only 7% contribute to the GDP. That's why. That is the reason. So they didn't care about that local, that production and manufacturing and cultivation. They suddenly stopped that import because they had the idea to reduce that gap of trade deficit. That is right. There is a teacher of that economic in the parliament. I don't know whether what happened to that him. They must be introduced to. They must give the advice for that government. Anyhow, that next one is that there's another one I want to tell that now we can see a good example for that imports restriction of food crisis came by that. For example, I will tell that Netherlands is the land extent cultivation is the 40,000 kilometers. Sri Lanka is 65,310, less than, very less, but that cultivation is very good. That Netherlands, they have a talent. After that, they have excess that harvest. They export and they are supplying to world. Only 40,000 land extent, but Sri Lanka 65,310 kilometers extended land. Whatever this. So yes. Now next one is. Now I am going to take a 2021. After the 2020 March, COVID came, and that also adversely and shut down our country. That we know every main incomes collapsed during that period. After that came to 2021. 2021 also normally went less incomes received from the government. Everybody know about that. That is no problem. Now thing is, I want to point out that during that 2020 and 21, this is the financial statement, consolidated accounts, revenue and expenditure about the government. This I want to point out this one. There is a 2020 government revenue is 1,370. Earlier 1,907. Suddenly got down because VAT portion is reduced now 15 up to 8,379. But expenses was 2,683. 2020. That is, we have to analyze that what had happened. That why increase that like expenses? Country shut down, but income is there was a point, but expenses, right? There was a doubt. We can't give the correct opinion. The auditor report has not given any commitment regarding that one. Now I have examined this, right? According to my knowledge, 2020 also 1,467 the government revenue 1,467 billion, but 2,757 that is the actual recurrent expenditure. Vast materiality amount. Understood? That's why I am telling. These are unnecessary expenses incurred those period, right? So difference deficit is 1,290. After this 1,290 deficit, we finance from treasury bills, whatever foreign debts and everything. That is the debt increase in local and foreign debt. This is the point. This is the landmark. Understood? This Gotabaya Rajapaksa regime, government period, right? Understand this position, right? Next one is that there's another point that same year 2021 2,750 recurrent total actual expenditure, but we have paid that interest, only the interest 1,048. That also there was a point because we are paying more interest. But that IMF and World Bank or whatever ADB blacklisted. I don't know why. That continuously we are paying the repayments. I don't know what they blacklisted our country. There's a point. Right? 1,048. Half of the expenses we paid interest. Anyhow, if there's any doubt, this I don't know whether that National Audit Office have done this audits. Carefully examine about that individual interest account. So examine, sometimes it may be account in error. I don't know whether, but there is a doubt. I don't know whether I am not auditor, but my national auditor, that National Audit Office. Anyhow, that according to my knowledge, that is the materiality amount. That was right. There was a doubt because every that 7 billion 2022 7 billion we have paid for loan repayment with interest. Then why they blacklisted, right? Second one, that is the 2021. Now I want to tell something about that. After that, now we after that coming to that 2020. That is a very, very lazy year in the government reactivities and activities and very bad. My dear overseas brothers and sisters, listen to me. Don't be misunderstand, right? This is the actual position of the government. 1 year, they didn't anything. They only the one alternative solution awaiting the IMF law. Right? Actually, there were so many alternatives, right? Because main thing is to try to understand our Sri Lankan, my dear countries and overseas. There were so many lapses in the government. What are the lapses? Main thing is they don't have a creativity, right? Creativity. Second one is they don't have economic knowledge. Some are in parliament only the up to O level, no O level. Some are in below the bars, and some are in stolen in government properties. Documentary evidence also, I think. Bribery, corruption, unnecessary expenses. They can't examine everything. They don't have internal communication in the parliament, ministries, and president. That is the main reason. One minister don't know whether that what are the others doing, right? They don't have an economic committee, right? There should be economic committee. They don't know. That's why I am telling that lack of creativity and lack of economic knowledge and poor financial decision, right? There should be economic committee. What happened to these expenses? What we are going to next, right? They don't have internal communication. Right? That is the reason. So now I am going to tell. Now in this prevailing economic crisis, Now all people are struggling because the government, which has not been able to generate any revenues at the moment, not generate any revenues at the moment. They are unable. They have failed. The government actually failed to generate any revenues. For example, 2022 end of the year, reserves, dollar reserves in central bank 1.8. 2019, I have details. Foreign reserves 7.6 billion US dollars in foreign reserves. So normally that government should responsibility. Some failures are coming, setbacks coming into the country, not only this country especially. Now, for example, we can say COVID. Chinese, first of all, we can say Chinese also met this COVID. American also, Indian also, right? That South Asian country also met this COVID. So, but they have a strong economy, right? That's why I'm going to tell that is the point. So first of all, we have to make at least 15 US billion reserve we need, my dear country people. Otherwise, we can't face this like this setbacks, right? They don't know that one. After the COVID came, they awaited no alternatives, no alternatives. But we have to as soon as pick up. The parliaments, ministers, and president gathered and discuss all this, right? What they pick up, how to pick up this economy. No other poor people don't know how to increase the economic growth, because we are giving for franchise our to present government. The present government says no alternatives. They are asking from opposition. That's right. Now 7 billion indicated in that 7.6 billion 2019 after the COVID. Now 1.8 billion. So no foreign reserves at the moment. That's why I am telling that these the created one reason of dollar crisis. Another at the moment we have met in 7 crises in Sri Lanka, right? First one I told you that dollar crisis, how to create it, we know, everybody know, right? Second one is food crisis. That also I explained earlier. Food crisis, how to create it, what is the lapses about our government, food crisis. So we have to as soon as launch that, increase the cultivation and agriculture sector. Only 7% compared to the GDP. IMF also indicated that point. That president also know about that. Why don't you start? Why don't you launch that? Now 333 million US dollars received from last month from IMF. So what are the expenses at the moment done? That state minister said that 121 for Indian credit line for oil, and remain another portion for paid salaries month of April. That is the loan purpose taken from there. So how are we going to repayment that, right? That also eat and repayment finished. Normally that if you are taking a loan, that is long-term investment or short-term investment, because we have to make the plan repayment panel, right? Recovery panel, repayment panel we have to. Otherwise, taking loan, pay another loan, like a roll. It's not a government. That is not a poor financial decisions. Now I directly say to that president, he is a lawyer. He don't know whether that he has to study so many things, right? If the 2 finance ministers are that don't know about that, how to monitoring that fiscal, because so many examples are here. OD balances always taken from central bank advances. Always they have only mind to obtain the loans, no alternatives, right? That time The president must think about that, right? He has to think. He is a finance minister, right? If you are not suitable that finance minister, you go and do it whatever that minister of justice. You can fit for that minister of justice, not a finance, right? That's why I am telling. He is a justice minister. You undertake that justice minister, right? The minister of justice, right? I am telling. Okay, now next one is food, and other one is increase of electricity bill. Whatever, according to the IMF instructions, electricity bill and unusual tax policy bring this government, right? Unusual tax policy. That is, you know that normally that government middle income professional 13,341 per month reduction from his salary is very unreasonable at the moment. There are massive financial burden in government sector and construction sector and upcountry tea plantation 1 million, construction 1 million, 1.5 million government sector, 720,000 farmers, everybody burdened financially. What the hell? What the government and president doing? Still he is in abroad. And that doesn't matter. I am telling that if he is abroad, our people must look after this government, but neglect. Okay, next one is electricity bill. I want to tell electricity why they always concentrate to always that people are suffering from financial burden. Now, thing is the electricity board. You know that what is the electricity board inside in the crisis? You know. Did you review that audit reports of the electricity bill? 36 billion debtors. That means unrecovered loan outstanding amount in the balance sheet, right? 36 billion. So that we have to, first of all, we have to do priority, give that recovered for. 2002 billion bonus payment. I don't know whether that according to that paper and whatever documentaries, I am not going to tell lies, right? These are the evidence, whatever I took from papers and here in news and everything. 2.2 billion bonus pay and 25% increased salaries in December 2020. So then always increase electricity bill. So one is side inflation that reduced by the government, it is not useful. There is a small materiality difference with that normal expenses in that our people. Small difference, no small change. Government always says that inflation 60 to 20, that 40 balance not suitable. That is not enough. That because end of the month electricity bill we can show it that 66% increase. Another side, tax in private sector and government sector, the new tax amendment, then no, still going on same, right? Next one is oil crisis. Normally that oil crisis, every year government should know about that 4 billion US dollars spent for oil purchasing, right? Then we have to save and keep it. That's why that time there was no dollars for imports that oil and coals also. Coals, you know that 33 ships coming from every year. We have to pay for 1,500 billion rupees for one shift. So we have to save that money, right? These are the compulsory payments in the Sri Lanka, in the country. The government should keep separately for that savings that essential goods. Other one is medicine. Medicine, we have to 7 billion allocate to that medicine for 1 year. That is a monitoring financial monitoring. Now indicated in the present government, poor financial monitoring. That is a comment. Directly I am saying to President and government. I don't. Next one is bankruptcy. Directly we can say now bankrupt government. So why? The budget, you see, estimated income is 2023, expected revenue only 3,200. Expected expenditure 5,800. So this is the bankrupt government. Why they are staying so far? Huh? Why is the president silent? Huh? That's why. Next one is debt crisis. Debt crisis. I will show it that debt crisis. These are the statistics, right? These are the statistics come by on 2010, right? Up to 2020, and these are the projections also 2005, right? Step by came. Now thing is, loans without sufficient GDP. GDP means, try to understand my dear countries and overseas, gross domestic product. Gross domestic product is agriculture sector, industrial sector, right? Other one is service sector. Contribute to the economy. That is a national NDP. That is service and income. That is the NDP. Without materiality, only 88 US dollars billion at the moment. You see that at least we can say one Singapore, 400 GDP. Small countries, talented. Lee Kuan Yew is a real president, right? Talented president, right? One is now we can say that South Asian country is Bangladesh. What is the reserve cash amount? 20 billion US dollars. We have only 1.8, right? Bangladesh exporters 20 billion exports. Our export is 2020 12 billion US dollars, right? Difference, I will tell that. You have to shame at the moment. Vietnam, Cambodia, it's very small countries. That is the actual position. Sri Lanka, right? I am very frustrated at this situation, my dear country. You take action and what we have to do immediately. Now 2020, and after that, every year without debt restructure program. Now today I heard that news. There was a message. Japan is okay. They are going to start to restructure but thing is Japan only few amount, right? Only 2 amount. Doesn't matter. That also good news for us, right? Because we are poor Sri Lankan peoples, no, right? Now every year after the 2022, our debt repayment amount is 4,432 billion without restructure. Now I am asking how we are going to pay this installment. US dollars 4,032, right? We don't have a sufficient GDP. We don't have a sufficient income. Now I am going to explain that income, right? I want to tell the country people, they don't know much about the government revenue and expenditure. Normally government incomes like this one, right? One is tourist income. Second one is apparel income. Third one is exports income, tea, rubber, coconut, like. Next one is FDI. FDI means foreign direct investment, right? That is one income. Another one is IT exports also we have, right? That is all income. Next one is foreign remittance. Some of our overseas, you know that overseas, our working brothers and sisters, they are sending us. That is a foreign remittance, right? Our last one is foreign debt. That also income. If there's a loan received, that also we have come to the income account. These are the incomes, right? At the moment, every sector income sources has collapsed, came down, right? For example, 2022 year, tourist income fallen, 720,000 came. Now today, that tourist minister says that at least 2.2 estimated after the 2024, I think. 2023, he says that 1.2. Now, this is the month of May. Another 7 months remain, right? Understood? Don't give the promises or don't tell lies to poor people, poor innocent people. Don't be mentally arrested, right? I am staying, I always audit. Now, Chartered Institute had introduced that watchdogs, right? Right? Now I am a watchdog. Always in that what we are tell and what are the after that actions, right? My auditors are there. My friend is that National Audit Office. He is the senior assistant auditor general. Other one is a police department SA. There are so many friends are in auditors in government and another private sector, right? We are seeing that what we are going to do the governments, and don't be innocent people arrested, right? Don't be telling about that license and everything. Anyhow, if you have a confidence, still doesn't matter. If you have a sources, don't be estimated like this one, that like who is the CBS governor also says like sometimes end of the year like this one inflation 1 digit begin, doesn't matter, that also come in inflation, right? Another so many promises given, I have noted down everything, right? Economic growth 9% will become to -3% end of the year, right? That state minister said. Now I have everything not, right? I am now working behalf of my country people, innocent country people. I am behalf of. Sometimes you come and hit my house and that white van. Sometimes maybe I am expecting, but I don't have faith because poor people are innocent people. They are burdened in massive financial burden. I am directly saying the president also. I didn't afraid. I am not afraid to any people because I like this country, because we have a good generation, right? Right. My grandfather, he had a 13, right? Right. He look after, right? Good, big generation coming from up country, right? So I am not afraid. If you want to discuss or debate, I will ready even tomorrow. I will give the phone number. No problem, right? Now next one is, now I am going to reluctantly compel that how we are going to pay these repayments, right? Don't be translate to our daughters and sons in the future. Now president says that he has a plan to develop the country in 2040. Doesn't matter for future generation. Doesn't matter. They neglect present generation, because if the present generation is living, first of all, that is a compulsory. If they did, so what will happen to future generation, right? They must understand that first of all we have to give the priority to repayment as soon as settle this, right? We have alternatives now. Now we have 6 billion from that Pearl Express. Now that also neglect by the government, right? That also neglect, because that expire on that agreement will be expired on 20th May. I don't know whether government still silent, right? There was a dispute. There's a dispute, right? Cheating. Now next one is, these are the foreign debt. Totally 83 billion at the moment. We have a total debt to pay foreign and local. that can be divided into two: foreign 45 billion US dollars, local 38 billion, right? 38 billion can be divided into two: treasury bills buying from CBSL, central banks, that is 11, treasury bonds 24. Treasury bills mean below 1 year, its maturity dates. After that, 1 year or 1 year treasury bonds, right? These are the total debt statistics, and another 3 billion debt from CBC, central bank also, to foreign, that is outstanding CBL and swap line. Bangladesh bank, they already taken that loans. Swap line, People's Bank of China, 1.4 million, 1,432 million taken US dollars. Swap line, Reserve Bank of India, altogether 3 billion debt to foreign for central bank. Now I am requested to governor, please consider about that. Give the analyzation of the what is the plan of we are going to, because others everything we are going to restructure. This one what we are going to take action, how we are going to pay this amount. You have to show it to our people. What is the plan regarding this one, right? Because I don't know whether age analysis of this one, right? I am auditor, so you must give the age analysis from coming from which year, what are how many years gone for this one, very old one, no? So we can discuss from them, and we can, if we can that bad put that bad debts, we will try. We will try. Always try, right? Don't be silly and don't be lazy, and we will discuss with them, right? If you don't have knowledge, you recruit that so suitable people, suitable persons are in Sri Lanka, right? More but the economic side, right? Financial chartered accountants. I am directly says that president, right? You directly invite to the chartered accounts or economic analysis, you discuss further this one and try to get some release. Okay, next one is, now I want to compare these. Now debt restructure, now earlier I explained that there's a note I have taken from that. Sri Lankan total debt is 83 billion, right? That means Sri Lankan rupees 30,000 billion, right? It can be divided into two, local and foreign. Generally, debt restructuring involves like this one. These every country people and overseas people know about what is this debt restructure. Only they are going to restructure like this one. Rescheduling of the maturity period of bonds. Only the extent of period. No other that government minister stand and said one day last week parliament, 17 billion reduced from total loan amount this restructure. I don't know how to reduce 17 million. We don't know whether we didn't examine that condition of the debt. Anyhow, if it is okay, it doesn't matter, right? Now thing is rescheduling of the maturity of period bonds, only the extent of the period. First one, extend the period. Other one is cutting down part of the interest or principal of the bond. Only that is the two that we can say haircut. We are telling like haircut. That is a restructure. Always telling debt restructure. Debt these days are always talking about the debt. Only small happened there, right? Only extended period. Though we can go to, I am accountant. We are going that earlier I was an accountant. We went to the bank. So we had a loan. We discussed so far with manager. We are unable to pay that at the moment. We don't have a sufficient, didn't have a sufficient sales. Please reschedule this. Like that same thing. They extend the loan period. That also risk we have. At the moment, that is solution temporary. And small interest cut. At that time, interest and surcharge and everything already at the bank, because banks are very cunning, right? The IMF also say very cunning, right? If you have a knowledge, you discuss further. Don't be afraid. Go and discuss them, right? They are giving time by time. but continuously we have paid repayments for those periods. Why don't you afraid to that IMF? Right? We are Sri Lankan people. We don't have we have so many qualifications, chartered accounts, and then 2009 defeated that world terrible organization, terrorism in our Sri Lankan forces. Right? That is our brains, not the foreign brains used. Right? Why don't you win this economic crisis? Right? In Sri Lankan brain. Frustrating. I'm very frustrating. We are very frustrating, my dear country people. This side, right? Okay. Now next one, I want to compare that income. Now I want to tell that tourist income. Just I want to briefly explain that exist income before COVID. Now I am going to tell that every country sometimes failure and setbacks and that earthquake, like that everybody that every country is like this one coming from that setbacks. Now we have to face, if we have a strong economic procedure and strong economic growth and strong economic side, so we can face, right? 5.8 billion 2017 we had that tourism income. What happened to now? Now then we have to discuss and we have to pick up that, increase that, those whatever collapse in those period, take these details, details and compare. Why we increase that earlier existed like 5 million, 4 billion? This not initially started, existed one. After that we can again we can as soon as accelerate this one, pick up this 2022. Very bad, right? FDI foreign direct investment 1.6 billion, but unfortunately 0.6 came to 2021. Central bank reserves 7.6 billion 2019. Now 2020 1.8. Now we have to accelerate it as soon as, right? That's why I am telling. IT export also sufficient amount 2020 1 billion. Apparel sector 5.6. That is decrease now. This now 2023 orders, no orders, sharply decreased our apparel income and job losses 50,000 at the moment, right? These are the latest statistics. Government silent, no, right? Okay. Now I am going to tell that regarding that. Earlier I told you that unnecessary expenses and unusual expenses incurred by those period, right? These are the main economic contribution to state-owned enterprises. These all are the over 400 SOEs in Sri Lanka, 500 in business SOE, business state-owned enterprises. So everything contributed to the national GDP. So these are the main issues in our country, right? State-owned enterprises, right? Now the government has taken a decision through the IMF. They are going to sell this all the SOEs, profitable and unprofitable ventures, right? I don't know. First of all, that government main lapses, another lapse is priority. So first of all, we have to do that. We have to do the whole, right, 100 full audit, internal audit and external whatever, balance sheet audit, and find out that what are the lapses in the each enterprises. For example, poor internal control, not continuously, lack of continuously internal audits, right? That audit comments, right? Briberies, right? These are the examples for whatever it has mentioned that there have been many instance government audits highlights their irregularities and but no action has been taken despite in the security. 200 audit reports presented by the auditor general, and these are the scams, right? Scams, right? Scams. One is power. There was a scam. Fertilizer. briefly I will explain sugar scam. That combined with the inland revenue, right? This one. Inland insurance, Milko, digitalizations, right? Drugs. These all are the scams and bribery and everything. What it report reveals it, right? That's why I want to tell. Finally, I am coming to that 2000. Now, this is the main issue and this is the main crisis in Sri Lankan government at the moment, presently, currently, right? Now, this is the 2023 January month of January, income and expenditure account. We can say cash flow, same thing, cash flow, income and expenditure. This is the January 2023. Total income is 158 billion. Expenses is 126 with debt repayment, interest and installment. What had happened? Against that total expenditure against the income 520, that means income is 100, expenses is 520. That is the bankrupt government, right? You try to understand, my dear country people and overseas country. So you must take action, right? This one can't continue. This government is collapsed and a bankrupt government. The president has to take a decision, right? If you are not going to hold the election, so he has to take a decision. I am asking from president, right? I don't explain everything. That 368 deficit, that means income over expenditure. 368 financing, that means taken from loans to recover this expenditures, right? Treasury bills, treasury bonds always take. That means our local debts increased one by one every month increase financing, right? Now understand what happened to in Sri Lanka in next 3 months, right? This is the another thing. Finally, I am going to next time I will further details about that financial crisis and everything. Now I thought like this one. I am going to request from directly from government. Please consider about this my request. I am speaking and I am working about behalf of my poor innocent country people because they don't know what shall we do now, right? They always in massive financial burden, right? Government debts, then after that central bank debt, local debts, the state-owned enterprises debt, in-house people's debt, all are debts. Struggle at the moment, right? I kindly requested from government. First one is what is the short-term plan for solving the above crisis? Short-term plan we need, right? I am asking from president and present government. I don't know who are the responsibility, right? One is short-term plan immediately we need. If you are going to election, that is different thing, right? You can't give the plan. No. After that, I don't know whether what kind of government coming. Anyhow, second one giving us to proper debt restructure plan for our foreign and local, right? Local is a problem. Everybody know about that. There's a EPF fund that is a 3 trillion. I think there is a best fund in Sri Lanka, highest fund in Sri Lanka. I don't know. They try to eat that money, poor labor's money. That is not a good financial decision, right? Second one is, third one is how to balance the income and expenditure account each month without take financing and loan. There should be alternatives, right? I will tell one example again, right? Local income. We can increase, right? There are so many in the state enterprise assets, right? We can sell now. I saw that in the 2017 or 18 financial statement, capital assets are sold and sold money received from the balance that income account, right? We can do now. We can take the inventory of each government sector organization. If they are unusing idle assets, so many idle assets, right? Or no alternative to say. We can sell, no? We can get that income and say, put that separate account. And every month we can get that if there is any deficit, right? I don't want to learn to government, right? How to reach the good economic ratios within short period? How can we go to the economic ratios? What are the economic ratios? That economic growth rate ratio, inflation rate, right? Another one, unemployment ratio. That are the main. Then foreign reserves, right? At the moment, I don't know whether in the future time, oil, medicine, coals, these are the expenses to be done, right? I don't know whether government account, right, at the moment existed. Next one, state-owned enterprises are materially contributed to the economic. What is the steps should be taken for this institution? Directly you have to tell sold or we are going to sold or unsold or what are the profitable ventures, what you are going to do. Are you listening from IMF? You listen, no problem. But briefly you have to give the word to our country people are expecting about what you are going to tell exactly, right? Don't keep pending everything. Don't be delayed, right? Day by day. Give us the exact decision for the election will be held or not held this year. I am asking for president. I don't know. President put to the government. Government put to the president. President sometimes says we don't have money. Right? That election commissioner, somebody trying to. I am in struggle. Right? Sometimes removing that election commissioner. What's that? What happened? These are another thing I reluctantly campaign to government. Please don't mentally arrest to poor customers, poor our country people, innocent people. They don't know. Sometimes the prices are decreased, inflation reduced. They say that now government is good. They don't have understand inside the government. It's that plan, government position, financial position. They don't know. Now these days our gas cylinder is reduced 200 rupees. But normally that gas purchasing from 2 months, every 2 months. 200 for what? Huh? That's it doesn't matter. Suddenly they increase 1500. Now step by reduce or given silly bowlers to our poor country people, right? I return to complain that don't be arrest, don't mentally arrest to the innocent people's country, right? To I'm telling to president, right? Promises, don't give the promises. Finally, I'm going to close my explanations and review this economic review. Next time I supposed to do like this one. Every weekend, this is the live, this is my channel. I am going to examine during that week what the government has done, right? What are the work done of government and what they have done, what are the expenses gone from treasury, central bank, and how much printed the money. Everything I am examining and with my auditors, and we are staying inside and seen like a watchdog. We try to understand. Don't be cheat that poor people. And I am telling that every week I am going to hold that discuss. That means indicated that whatever during that week, what the government performance and what the plan, what the transaction have been done that during that week. Everything I'm going to show it to my country people, and I'm always standing in behalf of my people, not the other side. I don't care about that. right? Then I wish them country people to reach better future life as soon as soon. Thank you very much.